Hi everybody, this is Bullseye Handicapping. Episode 3, talking about playing the races, playing the game we all love called horse racing. And I've been playing for 50 years, and I'm almost done with being here, and we'll be moving on soon. So figured I'd pass on a little bit of the knowledge that I've learned over the 50 years of playing. And one thing I learned more than anything else is that you have to be disciplined if you want to be a gambler. You have to be someone who can be in control of himself, can be in control of what he wants to do. You can't be like out of control when you're playing the races. And unfortunately, 85% of the players are out of control. They want to play way, way, way too many races. I used to play 2,000 races a year, and that was way too many races. I had to reduce it almost 90%. So that meant that I had to get rid of, um, almost 1,900 races, of the 2,000 races. I came up with that idea about 10 years ago, and it was the best idea I came up with. The journey to reduce from playing 2,000 races a year to playing only 50 to 70 to 80 races a year was learning how difficult the game was. And the way I learned that was by handicapping, but not putting an investment in, instead of gambling and just playing the race because I handicapped it. I didn't do that. I just would see how I would do, and I was amazed on how many races that I thought a certain thing would happen, that would, and it didn't. And it's not like the horse racing information. I'm using the racing form, time form, Ragusson sheets, thoroughbred sheets, all types of horse racing information, pace, Mike Pizzola, past the wire with thoroughbred, all that stuff. Trying to put a story together to see if there's a possible investment. And as a horse player, you got to understand you're always going to think that that's why you got into the game is you think that you could be smarter than the rest of the people in the room, and again, inflammation. But the truth of the matter is that a good horse player has to have ego elimination. You don't know. The certainty of the game is not available to us. It's not. We think that if you handicap the races, that certain things are going to happen. We're looking for certainty, and then we're ballooning it out by playing pick threes, daily doubles, pick fours, pick fives, and pick sixes. We blow up a balloon and make the investment even more difficult because not only do you have to hit one race, you want to hit two or three. Insanity. But that's what a horse player is. He's totally insane. He's totally insane. He wants to gamble. He wants to gamble on and I started to understand after 10 years that this is fucking I'm out of control, man. I'm Baba Boo Boo. Man, my mofo Joe is bullshit. I think I know, but I don't know nothing. I think I know, but I don't know nothing. That reality, you better not have an ego because it's penetrating in an extremely negative way. That reality of learning that you are a stupid motherfucker for even playing. Only 10%, 15% people winning the game and you're playing it. Who the hell thought? And I'm not even a smart dude. I'm not even like a smart whip guy. No one ever said, oh, man, Dan, you're a smart dude. Nah, that shit didn't come my way. And then I'm playing a game that's degree of difficulty is only 15% win. Right there, the insanity started. 50 years ago is when I lost my mind. But, everybody's going to do something, right? Everybody's going to take a path and life goes so fast that, sometimes you don't even know what train you're on. You don't know whether you're on the express, the local, or the whatever. It's just it's out of control. That's life. But the key to it though is no matter what, having a smile. And unfortunately, the joy of handicapping became a big smile for me. It's something that I wanted to do. It allowed me to leave the world, the complexity of the world, and just have my time. It was my time. And, I became habitual with that and almost black belt guru master with the regiment of playing the horses. But the reality was that, I was baba boo boo out of control, playing too many races, Mr. Clean, put all kinds of money through the windows only to come out at the end of the year 10 or 15, $5,000 a loss. So, I mean, yeah, it was fun, but how much fun is it to lose at the end of the year when you put in like almost $300,000 worth of action? There's no pleasure in that. So the smile went away. And when the smile goes away, you got to look at your game and say, shit, man, is there anything I'm good at in this game? And you should specialize. You should get to where are you good? What are you good at? And you also want to learn what are you bad at. And I learned over 10 years all the things I was bad at, and I fixed them. And I learned all the things I was good at, and I made them stronger. And that's Bullseye Handicapping. It's focusing on you as the player. Are you a compulsive gambler, a loser, or do you want to be a winner? And unfortunately, when you want to be a winner, there's sacrifice. And the sacrifice is passing races. Passing like 90% of the races you play. So again, playing 2,000 races. So now I can play 200. And that's it. And it takes you many years to get to that point. But it's worth it. Because now you're on a journey of trying to be a winner. Because now instead of playing 5 days a week, now you're still playing 5 days a week, but you're only playing one race a day, 2 races a day, and that's it. You're not playing any string bets. You're just playing the race. You're simplifying your game. You're making your game doable. I'm 70 years old. My retention might be off a little. My focus my focus isn't, because when you love something and you're passionate about it, you're like a razor blade. You're gonna do what you need to do. You get this energy that's like almost supernatural, and that's why you continue to do it, is because you like being in that supernatural. You know that if it had something to do with horse racing, you could do anything. But if it had to do with something that wasn't comfortable for you, you almost feel like you're paralyzed. So the difference is unbelievable. So getting back to the idea that Bullseye Handicapping is about doing katas. I'm a kung fu guy. Any winner, you got to do katas. You got to do your dance. So I dance 6 hours a day and do my katas. And that's not for me to look good, or for me. It's for 2 reasons. The first reason is because it makes me smile. It makes me happy. It energizes me. My program is called Get Up, Get Out, Get Energized. And that's what I do every day. Every day I get up, and I feel like a little bit off, or I want to gamble and I know I can't gamble because it's Thursday. And I need to change my mofo Joe from raggedy ass to good to nice. I dance. I'll dance for 6 hours throughout the day and enjoy every minute of it. I don't do it because I have to do it. I do it because I love to do it. And I've always lived that way. I've always lived to do things that I love to do. But what I've learned also is that there's a razor blade to that. And that's that, sometimes you have to sacrifice to get what you really, really want, the grand prize. And because I'm at the end and I'm 70 and I'm gone full circle and I'm not in the ocean anymore, and I walked through the fire and got to the other side of the mountain, and I'm in a nice place, I want to take advantage of that. And the way I want to take advantage of that is by, playing as few races as possible, But when I play, I take a leap and I risk it all. I play the whole unit, and I'm only playing win and place, and mainly just to win. The only reason I would play places is because the public made such a big mistake that the horse is 5, 6, 7 to 1. And also to make the investment, only make an investment if I'm comfortable with the investment. Only make an investment if I'm wowed by the race. I wasn't wowed by the Wood Memorial, and I still made the investment. I mean, I still made a gamble. I gambled. I wanted to gamble. A residue of yesterday, wanting to be again, and it hurt, and I bled, and I don't want to bleed. So, my further ado experience was positive, so it was neutral. But again, I don't want to be neutral. I don't want to wash money and be Mr. Clean. I want to get better and better and better. And the way I get better, practicing the cut, what did I do wrong? The handicapping isn't about the racing form, the double graphs. It's about us. It's about the handicapper. What is your mofo Joe? Are you raggedy or are you solid as can be? There's no way you could be solid as you can be if you're playing 5 days a week and you're playing 3-4 races a day. Because if you're losing 80% of the 75, 80% of the time, you're bleeding. You're not smiling. Me passing all of those races every day except for looking at Saturday possibly, there's no negative experiences. There's no anxiety. And it's unbelievable the amount of anxiety that you can reduce by doing the Bullseye Handicapping approach. It's tremendous. It's the same amount of because you're not involved. You're in the bleachers. You're not playing the game. You're not even the coach. You're in the bleachers. You're watching. You're watching and you're waiting. And actually, I'm not even watching because you have to have a black belt in detachment. You're not opening the races. So today, I'm not opening the racing form. I'm not watching it live, and because you don't want to give yourself any reason to get jarred, and you will. No doubt about it. When I was practicing this for the last 6 years, many times I made a mistake. And through the mistake, I got cut. And I'm not interested in that anymore because I've bled enough. Unfortunately, as a player, you have to get to that moment of truth. You have to get to that moment of truth where you have to walk through the fire and say, no mas, no mas, no mas. I can't take it no more. I can't take the way I'm playing this game. I'm fucking ba-ba boo-boo. I am out of control, ba-ba boo-boo. I don't know what I'm doing. If you're thinking that, then you got to take time off and get out of the Coliseum. You got to get out of the horse racing bubble and just refresh. I'm giving you permission to take a day off. I'm giving you permission to take 2 days off, 3 days off, 4 days off. Just, get to know your family again. Get to know your friends again. Leave the horse racing bubble and go into the world bubble. Yeah, you haven't been there in a long time. It's strange. Your feet don't go there. Your car don't go there. You don't go there. But you got to go there. You got to get out and get energized. And then start doing whatever your kung fu is. You got to do some type of physical activity to jar your being, to shake off all that shit from the negative horse racing experiences. Take a walk with your dog like the guy does at Shake Up. I don't know what the guy does at Past the Wire, but everybody's got a mofo Joe. My mofo Joe is to dance for 6 hours. And it's not for my body because I'm a skinny little guy. It's more for my mind. I'm energizing. I'm getting up. I'm getting out. I'm changing my mofo Joe from something that I don't want to something I want. Again, the anxiety is gone. I have no anxiety today because I'm not getting in the game and rocking and rolling like you guys are, and even looking at it. I'm not even gonna open. I don't care what they're doing at Keeneland. I already saw Jeremy Plank's video because I want to see how he does. I'm just curious. It's fun. It's something different. I'm going to watch other people's videos for the upcoming weekend. I'm going to do all of that in between. When I get a scratch that I want to, get look at horse racing. But otherwise, you got to get out and do other things. Doing this video every day until Derby Day, and then after, just to, throw my bullshit out there, just like everybody else throws their bullshit out. One thing is funny about horse players is that we must have some kind of oral thing because we love to talk, because we're totally full of shit, but we love to talk. I mean, the guy at Shaker talks for 8 hours. He might play 2 races, but we love to talk. We love to smoke. I'm at a point now where I'm using these bottles, the baby bottles with the nipples, and sucking on them when I'm drinking my products, because I think I got this oral thing going on. So it's crazy how many light things that horse players have, to soothe their experience while they're gaming. And again, when you're not playing, you don't have those things. You don't have to smoke. You don't have to medicate. You don't have to drink. You don't have to take cocaine or whatever drug you take, to make you be able to be brave enough to come in the next day. And even if you didn't do those things, you still would come in the next day all fucked up. It's just, and I'm not saying it's good, bad, whatever. I'm just saying we choose, what we want to be. And again, being 70, I don't want to be like that anymore. I don't want to be a person who loves to gamble. I want to be a person who once in a while sees something, he gets wowed by something, he has a felt sense, the bet made him, again, if you're going to stand, stand. If you're going to sit, sit, but don't wobble. No wobble in the experience. And then the joy of the experience. I liken it to, I'm a disco dude from the disco generation. So we used to go out maybe 4 days a week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 3 days a week dancing for years, for decades. And then it became where it was just Friday and Saturday. And then it became where I think it was one day with the girlfriend and the other day with the dancing. So it'd be Friday and Saturday. And then it would just be one day. And it's the same. It's how many dances do you want to go to? How many dances do you need to go to? And how many days are you going to play? You got, and for me, it's changed dramatically to where all I want to do is go to the prom once a week. No more dancing every day, 5 days a week. The prom once a week. So that means once a week, 4 times a month, 52 times a year, I want to go to the prom and play the graded races. I want to wait and be disciplined and wait and just play those races. Why? Because, number one, you get tremendous information from the media. You get all kinds of free stuff that you don't even have to buy anything. Thoroughgraph is free for graded races. Timeform is free for graded races. Everything. Because everybody, they want to tell you who they think is going to win. And then it's so good because you learn exactly what the odds are going to be. You can make an odds board very easily for Saturday versus any other day, because the predictability is more toward what actually everybody's talking about, and that's why playing graded races becomes where you can smile. The joy of handicapping now is where can I smile? Where can I have enjoyable horse racing experiences, which is why I got into the game. And that's graded races on Saturdays. You're not going to get a big price on it, which is fine on your selections, but you're going to have an enjoyable horse racing experience, and you're going to win 3 out of 4 times. If you were wowed and the bet made you, then you can take a leap and risk it all. And you're doing it, you're doing 1 unit a week. So if a guy plays, for the week, $5,000, $2,500. Now you can play that all just for that day. And that's it. That's all you're doing. You can play half of that. No stress-free, no anxiety. If the bet makes you. If the bet makes you. If you're wowed. If you've been following it for months and months and months, and it talked to you. That type of playing for me has been extremely enjoyable. Yeah, again, like I said, it's hard to not be the old gambling Dan, but once you realize that I can't take this pain of losing, you change, and I can't tell you how more enjoyable it is to live life, because now you're out in the world bubble much more, which you haven't been out in a long time. Now all of a sudden you're paying attention to your wife, you're paying attention to your friends, your interests are not just horse racing. You're not out of control. If anybody wants to learn anything about what I'm talking about, I give my number out, 475-279-5398. Be trying to, give ideas about what I'm thinking at the time, and my thought process as it relates to horse racing, and also just going full circle. So, as Harvey Pack would say back in the old days, let the horse be with you. And good luck out there, guys. Bye now.